Your high school sports is excited to be entering its third season and now has expanded to the Tri-Cities area. Your high school sports is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Welcome to this week's Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, and we're kicking things off this week at Pigeon Forge. The Tigers had a hard-fought loss up at Elizabeth, and we'll find out from Coach Meadows how they get over that loss when they take on Unicoi County this week. And then we're going to go down to Seymour, and we're going to talk to Coach Cooper. His team is 4-2. Can you believe that, folks? His team is right in the midst of things for a big playoff run. And then we'll end up at Sevier County and talk to Coach as they went up to Daniel Boone and got a win last week. A hard-fought win, but it was a win, and they take on Davy Crockett this week. So make sure you stay right here on the Knox for more of your high school sports coming up next.
Hello, I'm Dr. John Rader, and I want to welcome you to our cosmetic and family dental practice located here in Sevierville, Tennessee. Our office provides a wide array of dental treatments and services from preventive and restorative dentistry to cosmetic enhancement, implant restorations, and the Zoom teeth whitening system. Over the past 12 years of practice, we have built a strong reputation for state-of-the-art dentistry with compassionate care. I invite you to give us a call or locate us on our website at seviervilledentist.com.
This is the clay, expertly crafted, that became the dishes on our tables. This is the grain, traditionally stone ground, that became the fresh-baked bread we serve every day. And this is the home, famously designed, that became the most unique setting for casual dining in Pigeon Forge. From our custom dishware to our delicious food, you can see the ingredients that make the Pottery House Cafe special. The Pottery House Cafe and Grill. Come experience our quality and our heritage.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm Roddy Woods, and I've made my way up to Pigeon Forge, home of the Tigers. Coach Meadows is here with us now. Coach, a game that you knew you had to give every effort, everything had to go right against Elizabeth, and things did not work out for you last Friday night.
No, first of all, the facilities up there are absolutely unbelievable. And I'd never been to Elizabethton before, but it was, I'd heard a lot about it, and it was more than what I'd heard. And, you walk out on the field and everything's great. And they came to play. We didn't play real well first half whatsoever, but they are the reason we didn't play very well. I mean, they're a very, very good football team, very well coached. They took us out of our game plan pretty quick.
And when you go into an environment like that, you never had played them, you never been, it's a 2.5-hour travel up to Elizabeth, and then they come out and they strike the first blow, didn't they?
They did. I mean, even in warm-ups, we're going out there in warm-ups and watching them, and one of my assistant coaches started there. He already had shoulder pads on. They didn't even have shoulder pads on, and so it was. They got after us. They really did, and like I said, it took us out of the game plan pretty quick, but you know, our guys never quit. They kept fighting, and you know, it was a tough battle to try to win though.
You know, I know when you do play games like that, a game like that 3 years ago when you first came, it would have been just a laid down. But you said there, your players never quit, and I think that speaks volumes of Coach Meadows.
Well, it just speaks volumes for these kids believing in me, and they've grown up a lot in the last 3 years, and you know, they didn't quit. You know, 3 years ago, probably would have quit. But you know, these kids have grown up, and they do expect to win, and they're going to fight to the very end, and try to do their best.
So, but you didn't. Noah still got over 100 yards. So, you know, things were working on your running game. Did they just try to take you out of the running game and make you one-dimensional?
They did. You know, early in the ball game, our quarterback is on the punt team as our person protector, and didn't get hit or anything like that, but he was going outside to make a block, and his kneecap actually popped out and popped back into place. And so our passing game, you know, we couldn't do a whole lot with it, and couldn't sprint him out or anything like that. So, you know, they took us out of our running game, but the injury took us out of our passing game. So, you know, we were searching at halftime.
You know, in a game like that, when you do go in at halftime, what do you tell your players at halftime like that?
Well, the biggest thing is, you know, the score was only 14-3, you know, and we needed to make a stop, you know, beginning of the second half, and we've taken in the score, and we've got ourselves a ball game, and you know, you try to be positive. You can't beat them up or anything like that, and you know, I knew we could be playing better with better effort, and you know, second half I thought we did.
You know, and I know we've been joking off camera there. You say you ran to the left side. They had one player that just was, I'd say, a real man on the team, wasn't he?
He was a man. He was a man, and I mean, he's probably the best defensive lineman I've coached against in years. I mean, he really is, and I hate to say it, but he's only a sophomore, and he's a big kid, big, strong, physical kid. But you know what impressed me more about him, I talked with him after the ball game. He was a great young man, but during the game, he was on their punt block team, and you know, he came through the line, and you know, he showed a lot of speed and agility too, and so that's somebody that you'll keep your eye on, you know, getting into college here 3 or 4 years.
All right, Coach. We're going to get off this Elizabethton game, and we're going to move toward Unicoi County. So make sure you stay right here on your high school sports. We'll be right back.
Sully Select in Sevierville is the place to get your daily freshly squeezed non-pasteurized orange juice. Sample our delicious strawberry orange juice too and leave with a pint, quart, or a gallon to take home. Sully Select is a place to pick up Granger County tomatoes, grass-fed beef, and holy smoked salt spices and rubs. Sully Select has granola naturals and local honey from Mojo Bee Company. Visit Sully Select on East Main Street next to Sonic in Sevierville.
From 1989, Tomo has been one of the first sushi restaurants in Knoxville.
I love it. This is one of my favorite restaurants in Knoxville.
We have carried on with an age-old tradition atmosphere and menu, including the Japanese bento box.
Food is outstanding.
Tomo is open for lunch and dinner and extra late for all you late-night sushi lovers, Friday and Saturday nights.
I love the sushi. It's always really fresh.
Tomo even offers half-price sushi on Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. Tomo, neighborhood price and friendly service on West Hill Crossing Plaza.
Advantage of great deals like this new Ford Focus
or this new Ford Fiesta.
Your choice.
For as low as $199 a month. And don't forget about the great deals on the new Ford Fusion for as low as $249 a month.
Right in the heart of Morristown.
Clayball's Campground and Cabins and Clayball's Market and Grill have been family owned and operated since 1978. Clayball's Campground is spacious with 320 sites including vacation homes and cabins. Great location for family reunions and large groups with entertainment on the weekends. Clayball's Market offers Exxon gas, a full grocery line, and camping supplies. Their delicious deli provides fantastic food and daily specials. Visit Clayball's Market or make reservations at Clayball's Campgrounds and Cabins, located on 405 Wears Valley Road, Pigeon Forge.
Lee's Total Health Pharmacy has 2 locations to better serve you. Our 725 Parkway location offers a full-service pharmacy with a large selection of quality home medical equipment from sports braces to wheelchairs and a stock varied selection of home care products to assist you daily. Health education classes and a Take Charge Weight program are available. Lee's Total Health Pharmacy at 1024 Middle Creek features a compound lab providing medication in the form of pain creams, hormone replacement, and much more. Lee's Total Health Pharmacy. We specialize in your good health.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm Roddy Woods. I'm joined once again by Coach Meadows. Coach, Elizabethton's behind you. It's up in the air. You guys can win on out and get a great playoff seeding. I know you don't like to talk about playoff seeding. You want to talk about Unicoi County. You got to make that road trip again.
Yeah, I've never been there either, and it's going to be a good trip. We've got our hands full, watching them on film, and they're a big physical team, just like, we've played in the last 2 weeks. And so don't have as much speed or anything like that as Elizabethton, but, we're going to go up and hopefully give them a good ball game.
Now is the time that your team actually can grow up a little bit. They had a game against Elizabethton that just you guys got manhandled. You said it. I'm just requoting you. But now is the time for them to. It's okay. We got to get back on the winning track.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got 4 very, very winnable games, I believe, this next 4 weeks. And one thing that I'm talking to the team about. Pigeon Forge has never won 8 games in a regular season before, and so we all of our goals are still out there, and we do that when we get to host first round playoff game, and see where we can go from there.
Now I know a lot of coaches do not like to talk about playoffs, but you've got to motivate your team to want to take that next level, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they know it's out there, and so there's no reason. Now we don't harp on it. We don't talk about it a lot, but we do talk about these next 4 region games where we can be seated in the playoffs and so forth. So we've got to take them one at a time, obviously, but having 4 region games in a row is very, very big for not only us, for everybody.
You talked about Turner injuring himself in that game against Elizabethton. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He went to therapy on Saturday and got in the pool and swam a lot Saturday and Sunday, and he's running around out here today, and so I fully expect him to be back 100%.
Last question. What have you got to do as a team to get a win against Unicoi County?
Well, the biggest thing is, we can't, just because of the last 2 weeks, we hadn't lost 2 games in a row since my first year, and we can't start self-destructing. We've got to continue to look straight ahead and not worry about what happened in the past. Just like whenever, after a win, we don't talk about that. We show a little bit of film and it's done, and we go on to the next week. And so that's what we've got to do. We can't say, continue to go, talk about Elizabethton or Lenore City or anything like that. That's in the past, and the thing we can do about it, what we can control, is what we do this Friday.
You heard it right there from Coach Meadows. They control their own destiny. They start out again and try to get a win against Unicoi County, making that long road trip up to the Tri-Cities this week. So make sure if you're going up there, get a good start, because it's a long way up there. Make sure you follow the Tigers this Friday night. We'll see you right here again in a moment on Your High School Sports, right after this.
I'm the world's worst cleaning lady. I'm here in your home having a pretty spectacular Tuesday. But I don't notice the loose rug at the top of your stairs. And that's about to become an issue for me. And if you've got the wrong home insurance coverage, my medical bills could get expensive. So get Allstate.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands? Call Kevin Yates for a quote today. 5 Oaks Tires, carrying top name brands Michelin Tires and BF Goodwrench Tires. Visit 5oakstire.com. Located on 1425 Parkway, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or call 5 Oaks Tires at 865-453-3469.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. Coach Cooper has joined us now. Coach Cooper's Seymour Eagles are 4-2 and flying very high. Looks like, Coach, you've got things turned around here at Seymour.
Well, we're really proud of the way the kids have responded. I think we're practicing better. We're playing with a higher level of physicality, and our kids are playing with a much greater level of execution. And those things together have put us in a position to win the 4 games, and we feel like we got some real positive things going forward, got a lot of things to build on to see if we can't get this program back to where it was back 10 or 15 years ago.
It sounds like you got them on the right track. You know, I know last year you were your first year here at Seymour. You were you knew what was going to happen because you could see it in the kids in their eyes and in their attitudes by the end of last season. I know you didn't win many games last year, but our last visit with you last year was a positive one. And I told my producer, I said, Coach is very positive. I can't wait till next year.
Well, one of the things we did is as we went through the season last year, even though we weren't winning games, we were playing young players and getting valuable experience. And then, we were instituting the offensive and defensive programs that we're going to use, as well as the weight room. And we could see that our kids were working hard and buying into the program. So we felt like there was a real opportunity for our kids to be successful. But you still got to get on the field and prove that you got a chance to be successful. And give our kids some credit. We've played pretty solid football up to this point. Now there's a lot of the season left, and we got to continue to progress. But we feel like we're headed in the right direction for the first time.
Well, those 2 losses came to 2 really good football teams. You lost to Pigeon Forge, and then you said you went up to South, and you had a lot of players injured. The things are turning around. That South game kind of showed you where you were at.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we went to South after our first loss of the season, and we had some players that were hurt, and we knew the next week was our bye week, so we set some of those guys out, and we didn't put a very good effort on the field that day. Our kids didn't play anywhere near where we're capable of, and when they came off of that game, they understood that you got to practice better and you got to play with better levels of physicality. You got to execute better on the field, and I think it helped us turn around that loss, and the nature of that loss really helped us get things going and made our kids understand that you don't get to just show up on any Friday night. You got to play, and it made them understand where we're at. And since that point, I think we've really progressed.
Coach, I want to ask you this question. What would be the number one thing you think has gotten your kids to buy into your program?
Well, one of the things, we played a lot of young kids, so those guys had a lot of experience. But I think the group of kids that are juniors and seniors, that group of juniors was undefeated as freshmen. And we knew that was a good group, and that's this year's current juniors. And then the group in front of them, I think they've just taken the mentality that somebody's got to turn around, and it's time, and why not? It's time for things to change, and why not let us be the group that's done that? And they've really bought into some of the practice mentalities and some of the higher levels of physicality and the work ethic in the weight room, and we've been really pleased with the progress of our kids.
We've talked to a lot of coaches this year, and that one word keeps coming up: physicality. physicality. I've heard that about a dozen times this year. What does that mean to your program?
Well, one of the things that's happened in high school football, not just in Tennessee, but all over the country, they're giving you less and less time for your kids to hit in practice and be physical. There's practice restrictions. Right. So teaching kids how to be physical in that short amount of time has become a greater and greater issue in high school football. And so I think every team is faced with the same concept. You got to teach your kids to be physical, but you're having less and less time to do it. And the teams that are doing a good job of teaching their kids in practice how to be physical and translating that to the game, they're getting a little bit of a jump on the teams that aren't. And it's such a critical part of the game. You can't play the game without being physical. But yet they're hamstringing us in so many ways that it's making it tougher and tougher to get that done.
Coach Cooper, head coach here at Seymour. When we come back, we're going to catch up with Coach again. We're going to talk about his opponent for this Friday night. So make sure you stay right here on the Knox for more of your high school sports right after this.
It's finally arrived, it's your wedding day. It's the moment you've been waiting all your life, it's your wedding day.
Ah, your wedding day, that one special day in your life you'll never forget. So let Venture Productions capture all those special moments at your wedding for you to treasure a lifetime. Our approach to videography is one of creativity and excellence. Call Venture Productions for your video services.
It's the moment you've been waiting all your life, it's your wedding day. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Dr. John Rader, and I want to welcome you to our cosmetic and family dental practice located here in Sevierville, Tennessee. Our office provides a wide array of dental treatments and services from preventive and restorative dentistry to cosmetic enhancement, implant restorations, and the Zoom teeth whitening system. Over the past 12 years of practice, we have built a strong reputation for state-of-the-art dentistry with compassionate care. I invite you to give us a call or locate us on our website at seviervilledentist.com.
This is the clay, expertly crafted, that became the dishes on our tables. This is the grain, traditionally stone ground, that became the fresh baked bread we serve every day. And this is the home, famously designed, that became the most unique setting for casual dining in Pigeon Forge. From our custom dishware to our delicious food, you can see the ingredients that make the Pottery House Cafe special. The Pottery House Cafe and Grill. Come experience our quality and our heritage.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Welcome back to your high school sports. Coach Cooper has rejoined us now. Coach, we talked a little bit about things have gotten you to this point of the season. You're 4-2. You take on Scott County this Friday night at Scott County. Talk about Scott County.
Well, the first thing is I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly where they're at because they have absolutely blasted three teams, the teams that they should have beaten. They've blasted those teams. And then their losses are against some really good teams. They lost to an Austin East team who only has one loss. Mm-hmm. They lost to Kingston, who only has one loss. Then they lost to Alcoa, and they lost to CAK. Well, those four teams are all real good teams. Mm-hmm. So they've struggled in those games, but they've played really well in their other games. And so they're a challenge feelings to figure out exactly where they're at. And I think they're very similar to us. They have a pretty good skill level. Their quarterback's good. They got a really good back, and I think they're a fairly physical football team, and they're real comparable. And this is a big game for our kids to help us gain confidence going into those last 3 region games.
You know, going into those last 3 region games, a game like this Scott County game can be pivotal in your season because you got to go. You got to win this game to stay where you're at.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, from our standpoint, the first tiebreaker, and we're probably going to have a hard time winning the region with that loss that we have, but the first tiebreaker is how you do head-to-head versus those teams, and we were fortunate enough to beat East and beat Cherokee, so we've got those guys on the head-to-head. But one of the tiebreakers is overall record. Well, we need to get this win in a non-conference game so their overall record's on a positive situation, so we can, if we were to tie, that we can get the higher seed come playoff time
and get that home field.
Yeah, that'd be huge to have. From where our program was at over the last 2 or 3 years, to have a home playoff game would be a really exciting thing for Seymour High School. And our kids are looking forward to the opportunity to play these last 4 games and prove to people that we're better, but then also to maybe earn a spot to play a home game.
Now, are you talking about the playoffs to your team? Or is it something you just let it hang over their heads?
We haven't really said anything to them, and we told them. I told them the other day, the old Jim Morris speech of playoffs. No, we're not talking playoffs. We're focusing all our efforts on the task at hand, which is to get prepared to play Scott and take it one game at a time. And we still have lots of things that we can improve upon, and that's what we're trying to put all of our energy and all of our efforts into.
Coach, what are some of the best things your team's doing right now?
Well, we have some explosiveness on the offensive side because we have a couple real playmakers. Jamal Ashley, a young man that transferred here from Bearden, has been a really explosive offensive player, and Devontae Farmer's made some real explosive plays. And then I think we're running the ball between the tackles real well. Jeremy Bryant and Isaiah Johnson, the 2 running backs, and those 7 guys up front have done a pretty good job of us running the football. So those are 2 things that are positive. And then the other thing is, I think our defense is getting better. We're starting to learn how to be more physical. We've kind of settled into who's going to play and where we're going to play those guys, and we're doing a better job at keeping people in front of us and running the ball and tackle. And over the last 3 weeks, we had a 0 last week. We shut out Cherokee, and 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago we shut out Central, and then the week between there we only gave up the 14. So we're starting to play a little better defense.